Some structures are built to guide, to warn, to save lives. But some, through tragedy and isolation, become beacons not of safety, but of torment. This is the Widow's Light Lighthouse, standing sentinel on a desolate, windswept promontory. Once a symbol of hope for sailors, it is now a decaying tower shrouded in legends of despair, tragedy, and the restless souls of those it failed to save. Its powerful beam, now extinguished, casts no light on the dark secrets festering within its spiraled walls. For centuries, the seas around the Widow's Light were treacherous, claiming countless ships and lives. The lighthouse itself has a history steeped in isolation and heartbreak. Keeper after keeper succumbed to madness or met tragic ends, often driven by the relentless solitude and the haunting cries of the sea. The most infamous period followed a devastating shipwreck, where hundreds perished within sight of the shore, their pleas for help swallowed by a violent storm. It said the sheer volume of despair and sudden, violent deaths in the cold, unforgiving waters anchored a powerful, dark energy to this place. Over the decades, reports from passing ships, occasional brave fishermen, and daring locals escalated from faint, mournful cries on the wind to chilling apparitions of drowned sailors and tormented keepers, even direct, aggressive encounters within the tower. When reports of its beam flickering on and off by itself, or the phantom sound of its foghorn piercing the night, became undeniable, our paranormal investigation team, drawn by the profound maritime mystery and the chilling tales of lingering torment, ventured to this remote, cursed beacon, hoping to uncover the truth behind its deadly spiritual legacy. The team, comprising a lead investigator, a sensitive medium specializing in oceanic and isolated hauntings, and a technical specialist, began their arduous approach as twilight bled into oppressive night. The promontory was exposed, battered by ceaseless wind and the distant roar of crashing waves. The lighthouse stood starkly against the bruised sky, its windows dark, like vacant eyes. The air was thick with the scent of salt, damped rock, and an ancient, suffocating cold. Their high-tech gear, advanced thermal cameras, highly sensitive EVP recorders, precise EMF detectors, and the spirit box was meticulously prepared, protected against the corrosive sea air. Every cautious step on the slippery, barnacled-covered rocks and through the abandoned keeper's cottage felt like treading on hallowed yet dangerous ground. The oppressive weight of countless lives lost at sea and within the tower pressed down on them. The feeling of being watched was instantaneous and pervasive, as if countless unseen eyes peered from every darkened window and the turning depths below. Within moments of stepping into the base of the lighthouse tower, the structure began to make its chilling presence known, not with a bang, but with insidious, unsettling phenomena. Disembodied whispers, faint as the wind whistling through a broken pane, seemed to caress their ears, too indistinct to form clear words, but undeniably present, like dying pleas for salvation or desperate warnings. One investigator felt a distinct, sudden cold spot pass directly through them, an icy shock that made them gasp, the temperature dropping several degrees instantly, despite their protective gear. Then, a sharp, rhythmic tapping sound began emanating from higher up the spiral staircase, precise and deliberate, like a cane striking stone, slowly growing louder and more insistent before abruptly ceasing, leaving behind an eerie silence that was more terrifying than the noise. The air grew heavy with the faint, unmistakable smell of stagnant seawater and old, decaying rope. As the team moved up the spiral staircase, ascending towards the keeper's quarters and the lantern room, the activity intensified, becoming more pronounced and alarming. The confined space felt suffocating, the darkness absolute in the absence of the light. EMF detectors began to spike erratically near old logbooks and rusted equipment, their lights flashing red, indicating intense, anomalous energy fluctuations that defied natural explanation. In the desolate keeper's quarters, where a bed frame stood rusted and splintered, a heavy, brass telescope, seemingly fixed to its stand, slowly, deliberately began to turn on its own, sweeping across the dark window as if an unseen hand was searching the tumultuous sea. No discernible vibration or structural shift was present. This was a chilling display of unseen, calculated force, a direct interaction with an object of vigilance. The medium, a vital and sensitive part of the team, began to experience profound shifts in emotion, describing overwhelming feelings of crushing loneliness, desperate confusion, and profound despair emanating from specific parts of the tower. They felt the overwhelming isolation of the keepers, the echoes of their madness, and the final panic of the drowned. Near the old logbooks, where keepers recorded their daily lives and ship sightings, the spirit box erupted with fragmented voices and garbled sounds. Amid the static, clear, undeniable words emerged, spoken in multiple, overlapping voices. Lost, cannot see, followed by a terrifying, guttural scream that seemed to tear through the very stone of the tower, raw and primal, causing everyone to recoil in horror. It was a scream of pure, unadulterated agony, echoing moments of shipwreck and hopeless drowning. The medium clutched their head, overwhelmed by the psychic imprint of collective torment. The peak of the night's terror occurred as they finally reached the lantern room, the very top of the lighthouse, where the powerful beam once cut through the darkest storms. The circular room was dark, damp, and reeked intensely of sea salt, mildew, and a faint, acrid smell that hinted at old, long-dried blood and desperation. As the team meticulously set up their specialized equipment, a distinct, heavy, rasping breathing sound began emanating from the very center of the room, near the giant shattered lens, not human, but an echoing, labored sound, as if someone was struggling for air, drowning even in the open air. Then one of the thermal cameras, designed to detect heat signatures, picked up an undeniable anomaly. A human-sized heat signature, clear and distinct against the freezing cold background, briefly appeared directly in front of the lens, a shadowy figure in what looked like a tattered oilskin coat, standing for a few seconds before dissipating into nothingness. It was an unmistakable apparition, a spectral keeper caught on thermal imaging, providing visual confirmation of an unseen presence. Then, without warning, a sudden, powerful push sent one of the investigators stumbling backward violently, losing their footing on the slick metal floor. Their camera clattered to the ground, still recording the chaotic scene. They cried out in surprise and fear, immediately describing unseen hands grabbing at their legs, a terrifying sensation of being pulled or dragged towards the shattered window, as if to be cast out into the sea below. When they managed to scramble back up, distinct marks appeared on their arms and legs, red and stark against their skin, consistent with intense pressure or grasping, like the raw imprints of spectral fingers. Panic began to set in among the entire team, their professional calm fracturing under the relentless assault. The spirit box, now a cacophony of distorted whispers and frantic pleas, seemed to be screaming, a horrifying chorus of tormented voices rising to an unbearable crescendo, an unbearable cacophony of agony and rage that threatened to drive them mad. The immediate area around them plummeted even further in temperature, dropping to freezing point, and the sickening smell of damp sea air, decay, and something indescribably foul, like old bodily fluids and putrefaction, intensified, becoming so thick and pervasive it made breathing difficult, threatening to choke them. It became terrifyingly clear. Whatever entities remained within the Widow's Light Lighthouse were not merely lingering echoes of past despair. They were active, aggressive, and deeply, profoundly disturbed. They were sentient beings, aware of the living intruders, and they reacted with pure, unadulterated hostility born from unimaginable pain and enduring rage. This lighthouse was indeed cursed, its very essence imbued with malevolence. The team, overwhelmed by the sheer intensity and undeniable malevolence, made the immediate and critical call to evacuate. There was no discussion, only an urgent, shared understanding that their safety and sanity were in grave peril. They quickly gathered their most essential equipment, leaving other, less critical devices behind,
other less vital items behind in their desperate haste to escape the oppressive energy that now consumed the lantern room. They stumbled back down the spiral staircase, then ran across the treacherous rocks, the chilling sounds of the lighthouse fading behind them, yet indelibly imprinted on their minds. The physical exhaustion was immense, but the psychological toll was even greater, leaving them shaken to their core, with the phantom cries of drowned sailors still echoing in their ears. The Widow's Lighthouse stands today, a silent, imposing monument to a dark and brutal past. Its cold, damp interior still echoes with torment. Its secrets are very much alive, clinging to its rusted machinery and shattered lens. Local legends and historical accounts of unexplained phenomena persist, confirming the team's terrifying encounters. What truly imbued this beacon with such malevolence? Is it the spirits of the drowned, eternally seeking a light that failed them? Or the tormented keepers driven to madness? Who or what still haunts its isolated tower, inflicting fear and vengeance on any who dared to intrude? The questions remain, haunting and unanswered. The curse of this place has not ended. This investigation leaves us with a profound sense of unease, a chilling realization that some places are best left undisturbed, their dark pasts forever sealed within their confines, guarding the tormented souls they contain. If this descent into the chilling heart of the Widow's Lighthouse sent shivers down your spine, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more chilling investigations. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next journey into the unknown. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you believe truly haunts the Widow's Light? Until next time, stay vigilant and beware the screams from the deep.